Hey everybody, how you doing out there? I'm Dave Batchelor, and yes, I am a bass player. And I play in a cool little band called Pop Cherry. But more on that later. Okay, what I'm here to do today is to introduce you to these three cool basses on the wall. These are the signature Geddy Lee basses, the jazz bass, made from three different locations. Now, I've seen a lot of postings online where people ask, what's the difference between the different Geddy Lee jazzes, the Mexican one, the Japanese, the USA, which one's better, which one's worse, all that sort of thing. So I've read a lot of them. I thought maybe I'd weigh in with my own sort of opinions or give you some input on this kind of stuff, because I happen to have three right here. This particular one here, this is my number one. This is a 2004 crafted in Japan, if you will, Geddy Lee signature jazz. Fender introduced the signature Geddy Lee around 1996 for a very short period of time. They were pretty successful, very popular. They ran them for a very limited period of time, then they just disappeared. And then in '98 they brought them back and introduced them into their product line, and they've been there ever since. This particular one from Japan, as I said, I bought it brand new in 2004, so that makes it about, 13 years anyway. It's been a great bass. Never had any issues with it. It's served me well. It's a little beat up and all that kind of stuff, but hey, it's music, right? The signature feature about the Geddy Lee Jazz is the neck. It's a very thin neck. It's known to be a very fast neck. And that's the thing that attracted me to the guitar. I went into the store, I tried it for about 5 minutes, and I just had to have it. I'd never played anything so comfortable. It's just, it's a great guitar. It really is. The craftsmanship is superb. As I said, great quality stuff they put on this thing, and it's very, very well made. The finish has held up very well, considering what it's been through. It's the original neck, and the neck has been solid from day one. You tweak it now and then, due to changes in weather and climate and that sort of thing. Maybe different string tensions and stuff, but once you set the neck, it stays there, and it's great. This neck has been great. I've had to refret it just once in all these years. So it's been really, really good. It features the Leo Kwan high mass bridge, the Badass 2, which was a very popular bridge at the time. People still look for these because they don't make them anymore. High mass bridges are known to give better sustain, better tone, better intonation. I actually, every time I get a guitar, if it doesn't have a high mass bridge, first thing I do is I put one on. There are different types out there from different manufacturers now because they are quite popular. So this is the original bridge that came with the guitar. As you can see, the standard Geddy Jazz white pickguard, which is what this had. I upgraded it to a custom pickguard. It's just sort of a statement of myself, I guess. Yes, this is what I look like in the morning. Yeah, I'm just skulls and crosses, that's my thing. So I saw this online and thought, hey, why not? I also upgraded the knobs. I went to the Fender Telecaster knobs. I just like the feel of them. They're easier to control, and they look pretty cool, chrome on chrome. The guitar comes with the vintage 70 pickups. After a time, I decided to upgrade the pickups on this particular bass to the Seymour Duncan quarter pounders. They just gave the bass a little more dimension, a little more punch, a little more oomph, but the Geddy spirit is still there. So yeah, it's a great guitar. It's got the old Geddy signature on the headstock, which is kind of cool. The vintage tuners, always nice, and it plays well. It's been solid, and I don't play it as much these days, but every time I pick it up, it's always a lot of fun. But that's it. This is the Japanese Geddy Lee bass, and I thoroughly endorse it. Great instrument. So moving on, as people would inquire, so what's the difference between the Japanese and the Mexican basses? Because a lot of people look for the Japanese ones because you can't get them anymore. It was around, I think 2011 or maybe early 2012, somewhere in there. Fender moved production of this guitar from Japan to Mexico. And sure, a lot of people were a little, hey, Mexico? I don't know. Well, truth be told, this is a Mexican. This is a 2012. I bought it used recently, actually. Whoever had this guitar before really looked after it because it's in beautiful condition. But I gotta tell you, looking over this, it's very reminiscent of this one when it was brand new. This particular one has great quality. It is a made in Mexico guitar, but the craftsmanship is quite good. The finish, everything, all the details, and again, the neck, beautiful neck, just like the other one. It's that beautiful, fast neck, very comfortable. The frets are in, and it's really, what can I say? It's a beautiful bass. Again, the signature on the headstock. I think they upgraded the tuners on these models, slightly better tuners than those, although I've never had any problems with those. But these things are fine. Yeah, and again, you've got the Leo Kwan Badass Bridge at the bottom here. A stock bridge comes with the bass. These are the original vintage 70s pickups. And I decided to leave this one all stock, the original pickguard, the original knobs, and just leave it 100% as it came from the factory. It plays beautifully, and when I give this thing a once-over and I look at it, there's just no issues with it. I'm sure I'll get plenty of good years out of this guitar. And at the very least, it's a good parts guitar for that one. Anyway, no, good guitar, really great guitar. I've had other Mexican basses, and some of them not so good. I have to admit, this one really great. I mean, I have had really good Mexican basses too. I've encountered some basses from Japan that weren't that good. I've encountered American ones that really weren't that good, and vice versa. Some of the American basses I've played superb instruments, but these ones in Mexico, they are quite good. I don't know. I would recommend at least giving one a look at, taking a look at one. Go into a store, play it, see how it feels to you, really give it a once-over. I mean, sure, if you come across a bad one, just don't buy it. But this is quite good. I think it's a little lighter, too, than the Japanese one, because a lot of people did complain a bit about the weight. And I gotta admit, it is a heavy bass, so I use a wider strap for comfort. This one, I think, is just a little bit lighter. They both feature alder wood bodies and maple necks. Anyway, yeah, if someone was to ask me any difference between the Mexican and the Japanese, I'd probably have to say, in my opinion anyway, based on these two, it's they're at par. I find them both equally great guitars, and judging by this one, I'm sure I'll get many great years out of this. If we go to this next one in the middle, this is the USA model. Now, these ones came onto the market in, I believe, 2015. Actually, Geddy put a video out there on YouTube talking about the new USA Geddy Lee bass, and it was introduced as black with the white pickguard, just like this one. However, the inlays are pearl, and also has a pearl type pickguard on it. If you see pictures of Geddy or videos of Geddy in concert, you'll probably, more recent ones anyway, you'll see him playing the USA model. So I was a little confused when I found this one. I walked into a local music store here in Toronto, and I saw this hanging on the wall, and it said USA Geddy. And I thought, well, I didn't know they made a red one. They call this the Crimson Red Transparent. That's what they call the color. Anyway, so I ran home and went online, did a little investigating, and I found out they only made 100 of these. They're known as B stock, which doesn't mean that they're any less. I mean, they're brand new guitars, same quality, same build. It's just, the black one was A, and then B. This is the second one, so A, B. That's it. So it's B stock. But they only made 100. So when I saw there were only 100 of these, boom, I went back and I had to take it because I wanted to have one. And I really love the color on this. And too, apparently they weren't even supposed to be available in Canada, so that was kind of intriguing too. So a good purchase. Now, this is probably closer to the 72 Jazz as far as feel and that sort of thing. The neck is a little chunkier than the really thin, fast neck on the Mexican and the Japanese. This one is a little thicker, but it's not quite as thick as an original 72. Okay, but it's a great feel nonetheless. Again, you've got the Geddy signature in the back, and these are the reverse tuners, vintage reverse tuners. So you have to turn them in the opposite way when you're tuning it, as opposed to the traditional way. They did them differently back then, so it just has more of that vintage feel. Again, I think it just kind of relates more to his original bass that he bought. Again, the vintage 70s pickups, although they refer to these as custom vintage pickups, I think, you know, they were designed for Geddy's sound. I don't know exactly. The tone of this guitar is different than those. This one maybe sounds a little more beefier than, say, the Mexican or the Japanese. Not that they don't sound good. This thing just sounds a little more, I don't know. It's a great sound nonetheless. This one features Fender's version of the high mass bridge. I believe Fender, I think Fender bought Leo Kwan, and they took over the badass bridge thing. They kind of developed their own bridge based on the badass bridge. If you look at the two bridges, they're very, very similar. This one has the same kind of weight and dimension as that one does there, so it does the same job. Great tone, sustain, intonation. On this one too, they've actually put Geddy's signature right there on the base of the bridge, which is kind of cool, where it usually just has Fender. So again, just a little thing, a little custom thing. It's a great bass. You know, it's what's cool too is when you run your fingers across the back here, just when you're in here, you feel just a little bit of a texture in there, and I think what it does, it just helps give you just a little bit more grip as you're going up and down the neck, which is kind of cool. It's very subtle, but it has a nice feel to it. And so, yeah, I've chosen to leave this completely stock. The quality of this, I have to say, and in so much as I think these are great instruments, very, very well made. This thing is phenomenally well made. I mean, and just looking at it, the fit and the finish, it's amazing. This thing is really, really well made, I gotta tell you. And it sounds great, and it plays like butter. As I said, the neck's a little bit chunkier, but it's still very, very comfortable. And it's cool. It comes with a great hard shell case, and even comes with a 8x10 color glossy of Geddy playing the bass in concert. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, a little more pricey, mind you, but I would say it's worth the money. If you're looking for a really good high-end American jazz, this is a great choice. And of course, if you are a Rush fan, as I am, I certainly can't play like Geddy. I don't think I could ever hope to, but he has certainly inspired me through the years, and it's really great to be able to have access to the same kind of instrument that he plays. And as I said, it's very inspiring. I love playing this guitar, and when I pick at any of these and I start noodling around, it just makes me want to play that much better and work that much harder at what I do, because I really love to do it. So, and I really love being able to share with all of you some information that maybe if you're deciding that you might want to get one of these, well, here's just another source of information for you to make a judgment call on. Anyway, there you have it. 3 Geddy basses. Now I'm going to be doing another video to follow up with this one, where I'm going to be introducing you to I believe it's called the Geddy 2112, which is the new Geddy Lee dual channel preamp that has been developed and designed by Tech 21, the people that do SansAmp stuff. It's great stuff, great products. I've used SansAmp stuff before, and it's really great stuff. This dual channel preamp I'm talking about just came out recently, and it's very, very cool. It's based on the same rig that Geddy was using on tour. You can definitely get the authentic Geddy sound out of this thing, and especially if you're playing one of these basses, it's scary how close you can get the sound. And that aside, you can get unlimited types of tone and sound out of this thing. It's dual channel, so I mean you can get a stereo effect if you want, but it's a very clever instrument, very well made. And again, if you go online, Geddy even released a video on YouTube where he talks about the development of the preamp and how it came about, and he talks about using it and so forth. So I will be sharing that with you soon as well, and I'll probably use these guitars when I demonstrate the tones and the sound, so you can get a really clear picture of it. So it's just my little two-part mini-series on my Geddy gear that I thought I'd share with all of you. Okay, so that's it for today. I got to run. I got some rehearsals to do and things to get ready for. So check out our videos online. As I said, Pop Cherry. We are on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. You'll find plenty of videos there and lots of fun stuff. We'd love to, have you join up, subscribe, and be a part of it. You can also join us on Facebook, and you can find us online at www.popcherry.ca. So feel free to look us up, give a listen, you see when our shows are happening. If you can drop by one of our shows, please do. We'd love to see you. And come on out and have some fun. Spend the night with us, and we'll show you a good time. And maybe you'll see me out there with one of these beauties. Hey, you never know. Anyway, there will be more stuff to come eventually. I've got some other plans for some other videos showing you some of the other guitars and so forth that I've been using, and talking about all things gear, because that's what that's what musicians like to do, is to talk about their gear and all that kind of stuff. And well, I'm a bass player, so I can barely talk at all. So, and it's also the middle of the morning, so okay, maybe I'll grab some coffee. All right, you carry on. Best to everybody. Peace, and we'll see you real soon. Rock and roll. Later.